What I'm about to show you is pretty shocking. So Anthony Blinken, who has been pressuring Israel for a very, very long time, just admitted that they're at fault, that the reason why there is no ceasefire agreement is because of American pressure. And he's not ashamed. He just outright admits it on live TV. So check out what he's trying to say. And it's pretty shocking admission.
There have been two major impediments, and they both go to what drives Hamas. One has been whenever there has been public daylight between the United States and Israel and the perception that pressure was growing on Israel, we've seen it. Hamas has pulled back from agreeing to a ceasefire and the release of hostages. And so there are times when what we say in private to Israel, where we have a disagreement, is one thing, and what we're doing or saying in public may be another. But that's in no small measure, because with this daylight, the prospects of getting the hostage and ceasefire deal over the finish line become more distant.
Well, there were moments when it seemed you were trying to draw red lines in public, telling Israel not to go into Rafah, for example, and then they did. Israel's prime minister...
They went into Rafah in a very different way than
Benjamin
they were planning to do.
Netanyahu never seemed to listen to you, though.
No, I disagree with that. And again, I mentioned how we've gone at humanitarian assistance from day one, and that's been a perennial and ongoing effort throughout this time. When it comes to Rafah, we had deep concerns about a direct attack and the use of the 2,000-pound munitions in densely populated areas. What Israel wound up doing in Rafah was very different from what they were planning to do before we engaged with them. So you
feel like you've been effective in shaping the conduct of
I think the
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I think the question we had was how can we most effectively both shape the conflict, but also bring an end to the conflict. And the focus on getting a ceasefire hostage agreement was what was, in our estimation, the quickest and most durable way to get an end. And as I said, Hamas won. When they saw Israel under pressure publicly, they pulled back. The other thing that got Hamas to pull back was their belief, their hope that there'd be a wider conflict, that Hezbollah would attack Israel, that Iran would attack Israel, that other actors would attack Israel, and that Israel would have its hands full and Hamas could continue what it was doing. So we worked very hard to make sure that that didn't happen. Part of that was making sure that Israel had what it needed to defend itself, to deter broader aggression.
How can he say that with a straight face? How can he be like, well, essentially, we said to everyone else that we were doing A, and then to the Israelis, we did B? Like, why can't you just lead with truth? He admitted on air that what he's telling the American public is a lie. What he's telling the world is a lie. And what he's telling to Israel is the truth, or the opposite, right? And she's trying to be like, well, did you have any success with them? And he's like, yeah, we've sort of shaped the conflict, and all this shithole mess that we've sort of made it's all us, And every time that Israel disobeyed us, that was when, it was good for the Israelis. Just insanity. Literally admitting that his policies and Biden's policies and all this leftist bullshit led to this long, drawn-out war. Just, does he even hear it himself? Like, I'm glad he's admitting it, but just insanity. Just total insanity. And the Biden administration has mishandled this war completely. Instead of putting the pressure on the terrorists, they've said to Israel, you have to do this, this, and this. And it's led to this long, drawn-out war that nobody wants, that nobody's interested in. Again, this goes back to the idea that Hamas is obviously the problem with peace, but the rest of the West decides that they're just going to pressure Israel and take away all the agency from the jihadists, take away all the agency from the baby killers and murderers. And Blinken is soon going to be out, thank God, and good riddance, because he definitely doesn't know how to handle a war and definitely doesn't know how to finish one. For more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. That's buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. Thank you, and have a good one.